All right, welcome to this weekly outlook. We are at the beginning of March and we've got a lot to talk about. So without further ado, let's dive into the charts. First thing we're going to do is look at Forex Factory. So the orange folders, but mainly the red folders, are the roadmap for us to guide us through the week. And you see a lot of red folders, and the most important part is the USD folders. And we know first Friday of the month is NFP. So there's NFP protocol. This means is I don't trade any USD pairs after Wednesday, New York AM. And you shouldn't be either, because most likely DXY is going to consolidate and just manipulate. So ICT also mentioned this like a million times. So I'm listening to the big mentor. Monday we got CSF news. We got GPY red folder. On Tuesday we got some red folders for USD and AUD. We got some nice red folders coming up. So lots of news, lots of volatility. So we're going to have a really good week. Looking at DXY, I went ahead and I marked out every pair I'm looking to trade this week. And I marked them with green. So perhaps you can pause the video and take a screenshot of the pairs I'm looking at. Those are marked with the green flag right here. I will go over all those pairs. Starting with the big boy, DXY, we are still inside that monthly fair value gap. And you know by now, the bias is really clear. We're going from internal liquidity, internal range liquidity, fair value gap towards external range liquidity. So this is on the cards, and eventually also the yearly fair value gap. If you're not sure what that is, go to 12 months. And there's a yearly fair value gap right here. But just for the low-hanging fruit, we're going to look at the monthly here from internal range to external range liquidity. So the drawn liquidity is clear. Now we need to find, how we're going to trade this. We have like NFP, we got lots of red folders. So probably will be a big move down. If you look at the daily right here, we already traded into this, took out this first move down. So this took out buy stops right here, then broke structure. Not that much displacement. So this high is not too clear for me. So what I will do is I will sit on my hands and I will wait for a displacement with the fair value gap on the daily to the downside, preferably taking out this low. And from there, I want to take trades on the USD pairs. But bias definitely is bearish for DXY. And this means if you look at the USD pairs, AUD, USD, Euro USD, and USD GSF, you have a clear bias as well, those. So for AUD, USD, and Euro USD, we're going to look at longs. And for USD GSF, we're going to look at shorts. What we see on AUD USD is we are inside the monthly fair value gap. And in February, the price traded really beautiful, filled the fair value gap, touched the monthly order block, and moved away. And as we know, we are trading from internal range liquidity, the fair value gap, to external range. And with the bias of a DXY that's going down, we have a clear drawn liquidity for AUD upwards, and that's the monthly high right here. Do we see anything we can trade off from? We have this really small fair value gap right here, and the bodies are respecting it. So this is a good early sign that the bullish arrays are being respected. And what I want to see is displacement upwards and then trading towards the buy side liquidity. So it's on my list for later this week. If we see displacement on DXY down, we will see displacement up here. So I'll just monitor this. Then for Euro USD, February we touched the monthly fair value gap. Beautiful, and we reacted. Same as AUD USD, internal range liquidity to external range liquidity. Now we're going to look at the daily. Do we see anything we can trade off from? We have this order block right here. It hasn't been touched yet. Go on the weekly. Also nothing on a 4-hour. We had this 4-hour fair value gap that's been traded into, but we still have these relative equal lows right here. So for Euro USD, I'm not quite sure to already take this early in the week. I want to see how, for example, this 4-hour fair value gap gets respected, but I could also see like a first move downwards to get some stop-ons and then move upwards. But let's see for that. But same on the higher time frame, we have a really clear draw on liquidity, and that's the high right here. So we also always should frame our trades around this idea. And the same for AUD, USD. Just wait for the fair value gap upwards and take the fair value gap, set your order block, and target this one. Then let's go to USD GSF. Here's the USD first, so don't get confused. Your USD GSF. So if we anticipate USD that's going down, this pair is going to down as well. And look at this beautiful price action. We have traded into the monthly fair value gap, and now we're ready to go down even more to target this monthly low. And how we're going to do it, what was really nice to see that we took out some buy stops here already. So liquidity has been taken. So the perfect scenario would be displacement here, breaking structure with a value gap and an order block, and then target these lows. And why is this? Why I call this an order block? Because this movement up took out this liquidity. So this up close candle will be the order block when we displace down. It's be a really clear setup with a fair value gap and an order block. That's your bread and butter. So let's see in this week if we get this displacement downwards. In the previous weekly outlook, I only discussed the USD pairs because I like to trade them the most. But the DXY is kind of dangerous this week because we've NFP week, only a few trading days. So I also want to give you guys some exotic pairs, the non-USD pairs, and let's go over them one by one, starting with the Euro CAD. What we have on Euro CAD is really nice. Respected this monthly fair value gap, traded off from it. And if you go to the weekly, we also have really clear weekly value gap, traded up from, and now we continue our upwards move. Perhaps you remember how the IPTA cycles work. So we have here the smart money reversal, and so we have consolidation, expansion, and here it reverses. And now we are in a buy model. And what's really good to note is now it's consolidating again, like for lots of weeks. And we know after a consolidation, it can never retrace or reverse from there. After consolidation, always follows expansion. So with this in mind, we have clear drawn liquidity up here. So that's why I'm kind of happy to see Euro CAD. And also, if you look at the Euro himself, Euro is getting stronger. So it's kind of nice to see Euro CAD moving like this. I will be hunting for longs for Euro CAD. What we already saw is that there were daily busies respected. So there should be clear moves coming up very soon. Look at how beautiful all the arrays get respected. Fair value gap. Then we have this order block right here. This downwards candle, order block, and a fair value gap, and trade away as well from this one. So kind of bullish on Euro CAD. Literally, I'm going to watch like a hawk in the early this week. And what you, for example, can see is taking out the external liquidity, leaving a fair value gap, coming back in, and then go to the drawn liquidity long term. We also have this massive SIBI, but the low-hanging fruit, for example, will be this high and also the start of the daily SIBI. Then let's go to Euro AUD. We had a beautiful reaction from the order block right here. We had a beautiful reaction from the order block right here and the monthly fair value gap. So that's really bullish. We also had this smart money reversal right here. And we have seen expansion. We traced to fair value gap. Now we're going upwards, consolidating. And there will be clear drawn liquidity. This could be this high up top. We could also target this high first. I will be looking for longs for Euro AUD. Go to the daily if we can see something to trade off from. Yes, we do. So this it was all respected. So we're anticipating for these lows to be keeping intact. So I will be seriously looking to trade from the daily fair value gap, stop loss behind this one, and target the high over there. This is a really big trade. Like, I'm not going to emphasize a 14 RR. So what we can do then is, if we are on the daily, if it trades back to the daily fair value gap, time frame alignment, you go to the hourly structure, and what you then can wait for is price to come back here, wait for that market maker buy model to appear, and then target, for example, here's the fair value gap, stop loss under the low, and then target low hanging fruit, these highs, and you have your 2.3 R. So we have our drawn liquidity on the monthly, but those are big trades. We are intraday traders, so we're going to look at the daily on how we possibly can go towards the target. That's from the daily fair value gap. And if you want to go to your entry, we're going lower in time frames to the hourly, and then you can look for a setup to appear there. If you want to go even lower, you're going to go to the 5-minute, but that's up to you. Okay, let's continue to GBP CAD. And on GBP CAD, we also have a really nice movement. I was in a trade of GBP CAD last week, was break even. I was targeting these highs, but it didn't came there yet. So I'm still hungry to get those. We see this monthly BISI being respected. Let's look at the weekly. It's a really beautiful price action, guys. So we have this high probability order block right here. Gets respected. Then price moves away, leaving a fair value gap. Trades back into it, and now moves away to the upside, going to the daily. And look how all those arrays get respected. They appear, touch, go, internal range liquidity to external range liquidity, internal range liquidity to external range liquidity. So it's really clear that we're going to target these highs. So this will be my most high conviction plays, already shared it in the Discord as well. So I'll be looking at entering in this 1 hour fair value gap. And what I will do then is, if price trades to the 1 hour fair value gap, I will go to the 5-minute. Same we did a few minutes ago. I will be looking at, okay, if price comes back to the hourly fair value gap, look at creating a market maker buy model, and then target in the value gap, stop loss there, and target is the same, it's up there. Look at the best trades you want to do. Low hanging fruits would be these highs, but if you want to trade like smaller trade, that's also fine. You can look at the sell side of the curve if you can find some PD arrays to trade off from. For example, we have this 1 hour SIBI together with this order block. So this could also be a really nice trade. If you go back to the 5-minute, you'll see your market maker buy model pairing to this fair value gap, and it's a clear 1 to 3 R. This is like your scalp. This is your intraday trade. I would like to catch the bigger one, so from the hourly towards the equal highs up there. But as I said, that's up to you. Let's go to GBP AUD. On the monthly, we have this monthly BISI that gets respected. If we go to the weekly, we see price trades into this weekly order block, and the fair value gap trades away. And we have clear highs resting up here. We've also have highs resting up there. So we have some low-hanging fruit. And then the question, how are we going to trade off of that? We already trade into this 4 hour fair value gap. So now I'm just waiting for another fair value gap to be created towards the EC draw liquidity. And I'm going to look at the 50 minutes to get a good entry for that this week. Then we have AOD CHF. I shared this in the Discord last week as well. I missed this beautiful entry. It's like you're not going to get them any more cleaner. I was looking at some other pairs during this trade, but last week it traded to the weekly fair value gap. And if you look at the 4 hour here, traded to the weekly fair value gap plus order book. Then it displaced away breaking market structure, leaving a 4-hour value gap. And I shared this trade in the Discord to this low, like a 1 to 3, but I completely missed it. So I guess we can get another one. We got a really amazing movement back, took out these highs, and now I'm just waiting for, okay, can we displace away, leaving a fair value gap, and then target these lows for low-hanging fruit. Look at all these lows, guys. This is like really juicy swing low right there. But most importantly, the lows right here. These are all, you know, the trend line phantom ICT teaches. This is your retail trend lines, all liquidity. So this can be like a swing trade. If you want to take it, you can, for example, take it like this. You could take it like right now. Stop at the top of the weekly fair value gap and then target these lows. It's a big trade, it's 3.2R, but this is like an easy money printer if you are like a long-term trader. We call it a swing trader. So short for AUD GSF. Okay, let's then look at the GPY pairs. Those are the last we're going to discuss. The GPY pairs are near their buy side liquidity. And what's really interesting to see is the GPY basket. It's like the value of the Japanese yen, and it's like in a clear downtrend. It's very bearish. So I'm going to anticipate the continuation of this bearish movement. So this means like the USD, GBP, EURD, all these pairs should go up because the GPY is going down. And for the USD, GPY, going to the monthly, they all have really clear buy side liquidity. Equal highs, GPY, equal highs right here on Euro, GPY. You also have these clear highs, and they're all very close, all respecting the PD arrays. So to conclude, I'm not going to talk in detail to all of those three. If you want to choose between one of the three, look at the one that's most bullish. Because if you have a pair that's bearish, the GPY, and we're longing those pairs, we want to have the other pair to be as bullish as possible. And our outlook for USD is not too bullish because we anticipate the down move. So if I want to choose between these three, I would not do USD. I would look between GBP and EURD. And if you want to look at which pair of these is stronger, just look at the Euro GBP. So currently it is kind of consolidating. But if you look at the recent movement, we are in a clear downtrend for European GBP. This means the Euro is weaker than the GBP. We have seen like a kind of reversal, but we have equal lows. So the strongest of these three, I would say, is GBP. So I would look at longs for GBP, GPY. If we look at the weekly here, this weekly busy got respected. So let's go to the lower time frame if you can see something. And I'm already looked at this, and we take now sell stops here. So this is a really nice low. Displaced away, even for a value gap depth, and went up. We have failure swings resting right here. So I would expect a big move to these levels very soon. Okay, long video. I hope you got some value out of this. It's really important that you use these outlooks for your own research, so you know how I look to the market. And for most new traders, this is not very exciting because we only look at the monthly, weekly, and daily, and sometimes on 4 hour. But you should know your why. Why should price trade upwards or downwards? And those are the higher time frame PD arrays. I started the monthly, and just look at old highs, old lows, and look for fair value gaps. And if you have found them, if you have a clear drawn liquidity, that are the ones that are flagged with the green color. Then you know, okay, I got something on my hands. I have a clear draw on liquidity. Let's go to the lower time frames to see how can price trades towards those levels. And inside those levels, so for example, you have found something on the monthly. That's your Y. You see, okay, we have a clear draw on liquidity. They go to the daily to spot fair value gaps to trade, okay, the price can trade from this fair value gap towards the high, for example. And then you're going to go to the even lower time frames to spot your entry model, maybe your 2022 model or market make a buy model, whatever you prefer. And that's your high probability trade. That's your AAA setups. And this is the way to get a high strike rate. Really important. Using it this way is not going to give you 10 trades a day. You need to sit on your hands, but if you make money, I'm sure you can do that. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.